Hey YouTube, Ali Sultani from everyonestrings.com here. The following is a snippet from my online course. If you like what you see, check out more at everyonestrings.com. Starting out on violin, we're actually going to learn to play guitar style. Stay tuned to see how. It's easiest to get started by sitting in a chair learning to play violin guitar style. I recommend sitting on the edge of the chair so you can sit tall with good posture. Just as a quick but very important side note, it's important to keep nails short when playing violin. For good posture, we'll have to be on the tips of our fingers for both hands. That means you'll have to clip those nails way back and regularly maintain your nails to give yourself room to play. Now, we want to sit tall with good posture on the edge of the chair so that we can hold the violin against our body as we focus on our left hand technique. In order to get into position, hold your violin safely around the neck, lift your right arm like a chicken wing, and slide your violin underneath your arm around the tailpiece in order to hold it like so. From this position, we can take our fingers on the right hand and stick them on the bottom part of the black fingerboard in order to brace them. From here, we can use our thumb to pluck all 4 strings. Pause the video and mess around with that for a moment before we move on to the next step. Now that we're comfortable plucking our 4 strings, we want to figure out how to use the left hand. Previously, we mentioned that there are 4 strings. From lowest sounding to highest sounding, we have G, D, A, and E, or good dogs are exciting. We also mentioned that we have 7 letters in our musical alphabet, so we have to figure out how to get all of those other letters. That's where the left-hand fingers come into play. In order to use our left-hand fingers properly, we want to start with what I like to call the high 5 hand. That means when we play, our arm, wrist, hand, and fingers all start out in a neutral and straight position as if we are going to give someone a high 5. From here, we take our left hand and place it at the end of the neck of the violin with the thumb on top of it. The top edge of your thumb should line up on the left hand tape you placed on your violin. If you don't have one of these tapes, I recommend placing one between the first finger tape and the end of the neck. If we're holding this posture correctly, our arm, wrist, hand, and fingers should be straight. Underneath the neck of the violin, we should have a little tunnel space. Note that my thumb does not stick over the fingerboard of the violin. On the opposite end of the neck, my hand also touches at the base of the pointer finger. Having a good left hand posture, or high 5 hand, is the absolute most important thing we can do when we play. If we can establish this early and check it often, we will save ourselves a ton of headaches down the road. So do yourself a favor and check that high 5 hand frequently and spend a lot of extra time practicing these early stages in guitar position until you feel like you've mastered it and can even do it in your sleep. Now, let's get back to the concept of our musical alphabet. Have your high 5 hand ready to go, but keep it off of the strings for a moment. Start by plucking the A string. From there, without moving your thumb or wrist, you can curl your pointer finger or first finger onto its tape. Pressing down tightly on the fingertip, give it another pluck. Notice it sounds different from before. This is the note B. Take your middle finger or second finger and curl it onto the second tape, pressing down tightly on the fingertip and maintaining your good high 5 hand posture, and give that a pluck. It makes the note C. What note do you think the ring finger or third finger makes? If your answer was D, then you are correct. So take a moment to pause the video and practice going through these steps of your musical alphabet playing A, B, C, and D in order to get comfortable with your high 5 hand posture. Keep in mind from beginning to end, our thumb, wrist, and hand shouldn't move. Only our fingers move. It should look and sound something like this. Try it for yourself. Now that we've learned to play the letters A through D, we have to figure out how to fill in the rest of the alphabet. The next letter E is hopefully simple. If you remember, we have an E string. Now, let's do the same thing on the E string that we did on the A string. Without moving your thumb or wrist, curl your first finger onto the first tape to produce the letter F. 2 fingers becomes the letter G. And 3 fingers is not the letter H, but the letter A again. Sometimes we will refer to this as high A and the open A as low A. The reason for this is that once we get through the letters of the musical alphabet, A through G, we just recycle the letters yet again, and it goes in a big circle. So you may have the same note located on different places of the violin. In the end, we want to be able to play up and down the fingers of the E string like so. Try it out for yourself. A full cycle through the musical alphabet is also known as a scale. So let's try putting it all together from the low A to your high A. Watch as I demonstrate and focus specifically on my left hand posture. Once I'm done, pause the video and try it out on your own. Now that you've gotten comfortable playing the notes ascending through your musical alphabet, try playing it ascending and descending together like so. Now, as a quick note, if you have previous musical experience, we are actually playing the A major scale, which includes 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. For simplicity's sake, we will just refer to these notes as F, C, and G, and we'll discuss more about sharps and key signatures later in our lessons. Take some time to enjoy playing through your first piece of music, your scale. A scale is always a perfect way to warm up, so try using this first as a good starting point for your practices before moving on to the next step. As you play your scale, keep in mind 3 key things. 1, we want to be sitting tall with our violin tucked under our right arm, guitar style. 2, we want to stick our right hand fingers on the bottom of the fingerboard to use the thumb to pluck. And 3, no matter what you play, keep a good high 5 hand with a straight thumb and wrist. Remember to maintain a tunnel underneath the neck of the violin and play on fingertips. Your challenge alert, is to keep these 3 things the entire time as you play through your entire scale. This is a huge step and perhaps the most important step in your violin playing. Keep working hard and you'll soon master the skills. If you have any comments or questions, leave a comment on this video. Check out the next video on how to practice and use the upcoming resources to get the most out of your violin learning experience. See you in the next video.